Okay, this video is about how to do spawning, but more controlled. So there's no overlapping with this one. So the last video I did talked about spawning, but there was overlapping of the enemy, and so I don't want overlapping to happen. So you can do spawning spread out, and it'll stay like that. So let me show you the example here. So you see the yellow block going up, and then it's going to happen again, and then it's going to happen there. So there's no overlapping of the object with spawning here. It keeps coming out, and I can destroy it too with my mouse, but another one will come out, destroy it, or just let it go off screen, and then it'll repeat again. So let me show you how I did that. So at the bottom here, like I said before in my other video, there's some blocks here. There's a block here, and there's a block there, and then what's going to happen is this block is going to move and hit this block. When that happens, it's going to bounce and go this direction. So this is the spawn box. These are the blocks that it bounces off of. So the box is the solid. That's it. And then we have a spawn box, which once it hits the object box, it's going to do a reverse. And the reverse is right here in the Move tab. Set it to self, and then in the crate for the object spawn, add event crate, then you drag over a timer in the move to tab, my main 2 tab, and I set it mine for 30 milliseconds. Then you have alarm 0 happen, then you drag alarm 0 over here from add event, alarm 0, make sure it matches. Then it's going to create a player, so it's going to create the move thing from the instance create. So you, in the main 1 tab, you grab a create moving instance. Then you're going to choose the location. You're going to choose object player, set it to relative, have change the speed to whatever you want. I made mine 80. The direction is 90 because 90 is going up. Remember the directions here. You can get this. You get that directions off GameMaker. It's GameMaker Studio or GameMaker direction degrees. That's all you need to put in to Google it. But 90 goes up, 0 goes to the right, 180 goes to the left, and then 270 goes down. And then there is degrees in between those numbers too. So I'm going to have mine going up, so I set it to 90. And then I have another alarm kick in. Main 2 tab, alarm 1, 30 milliseconds. And then alarm 1 is going to kick in, and then it's going to go back to 0. So then I have alarm after 100 milliseconds. So after 100 milliseconds, it's going to repeat at alarm 0. So repeat, and it's going to do move. It's going to produce another object player, and after 30 milliseconds it's going to go to object 1, and then I guess it's going to wait for 100 milliseconds, and then it's going to jump back to alarm 0, and then it's going to produce another object player. So that's it's just like a spawn. You're spawning it basically. I think the last video I did with spawning, I dealt with using code, but this time you can use alarms and an instance create to do your spawning. So you have more control over it, so you don't see overlapping, because I really didn't like the overlapping. Now I made a game called Mover Splat, and I used spawning, and I used the code which overlapped my my slugs. And for me, the slugs, I don't really care if they overlap, because they're slugs. But like if you had bad guys moving from right to left or left to right, kind of like what Contra, the Nintendo game Contra. There's a bunch of bad guys coming at you and they're spawning. If you notice that, if you play that game, you'll see that they are overlapping one another for some reason. Sometimes they'll overlap, and so I don't want it to overlap. So I'm going to use this control instance here with my alarms to control when I want them to shoot out and when I want them to stop, so I have a spacing in between. And like I said, with the spawning with the code, I try to use solids, checking that off, and giving some gap space in the modified mask, trying to give some gap space in between the image, and it didn't seem to work. So this will control it better. Alright, and then you have your object player, and there's when you go to add event, do a mouse click, left pressed, and then you have destroy other. Make sure you set it to destroy other. Don't destroy self, because then they won't come back. Then when it leaves the room, add event, diamond, outside the room, it's going to be destroyed. Set it to other. So whether you click on it and destroy it, or it leaves the room, it's going to be destroyed. Either way, and then it's going to repeat after 100 milliseconds. I guess you could have it repeat after it leaves the room if you wanted to, but I decided to wait 100 milliseconds. Or like I said, you could change this to 50 if you wanted to. If you change this to like 50, right? Then when you play it, then it's going to spit out faster, I believe. See, now it spits out faster. So I feel like it's easier to do a spawning this way than maybe use that code, because the code, you really have to keep messing with the numbers to get it to your liking, and then it still will overlap one another. I don't know why, but it will overlap. So this is one way to control your spawning so it doesn't overlap. Alright, thanks for watching.